In this video, we explored theories like ethical realism and intuitionism. What makes an action truly right or wrong? Are moral values only personal opinions, or do they exist independently of what people think? Philosophers have debated this question for centuries, leading to important ethical theories such as ethical realism and intuitionism. Ethical realism argues that moral truth exists objectively, independent of human feeling or cultural beliefs. Intuitionism, on the other hand, claims that humans can directly recognize moral truth through moral intuition. Together, these theories attempt to explain the foundation of morality and how humans understand ethical principles. Ethical realism. Ethical realism is the view that moral facts are real and objective. According to this theory, statements like murder is wrong or honesty is good are not merely opinions or emotion. They express truth that exists independently of personal preference. Just as scientific facts exist whether people believe them or not, ethical realists argue that moral truth also exists independently of human thought. For example, if cruelty is wrong, then it remains wrong even if a society approves of it. Thus, morality is not created by individual or culture, it is discovered. Main features of ethical realism. First, objective moral truth. Ethical realism believes moral values are objective. Right and wrong do not depend entirely on personal emotion or social custom. For example, slavery was morally wrong even in societies where it was legally accepted. Second, moral statement can be true or false. When someone says helping the poor is good, the statement can be evaluated as true or false. Moral language therefore has factual meaning. Third, morality exists independently. Ethical truth exists independently of what people think about them. Human disagreement does not destroy moral reality. Just as people once disagree about the shape of the earth, disagreement about morality does not mean morality is unreal. Ethical realism are two types: naturalistic realism and non-naturalistic realism. Naturalistic realism. This theory explains morality through natural facts such as human well-being, happiness, or social harmony. For example, an action may be considered good because it promotes human flourishing. Non-naturalistic realism. Some philosophers argue moral properties cannot be reduced to physical or scientific fact. Goodness is a unique moral quality, understood through reason or institution. Importance of ethical realism. Ethical realism provides a strong basis for justice, human right, and moral responsibility. If morality is objective, then acts like genocide, torture, or oppression are wrong everywhere and at all times, regardless of cultural approval. This theory also supports the idea of universal ethics and moral accountability. Criticism of ethical realism. Despite its strength, ethical realism faces criticism. Some philosophers ask, if moral facts exist, where are they located? How can humans detect or prove them scientifically? Others argue that different societies have different moral beliefs, suggesting morality may be culturally shaped rather than objective. Still, ethical realists respond that disagreement does not eliminate truth. Intuitionism. Intuitionism is an ethical theory that says humans possess an immediate moral awareness called intuition. According to intuitionists, some moral truths are self-evident and do not require scientific proof or logical deduction. For example, most people naturally feel that unnecessary suffering is wrong or that kindness is good. This direct moral insight is called moral intuition. Key idea of intuitionism. Intuitionism teaches that morality is understood through inner moral perception. Just as the eye perceives color, the moral mind perceives ethical truth. Therefore, people can directly recognize basic moral principles without lengthy reasoning. Important thinker of intuitionism. First, G.E. Moore. G.E. Moore argued that good cannot be defined through natural qualities like pleasure or success. According to him, goodness is a simple and unique property understood intuitively. He introduced the famous open question argument, claiming that moral goodness cannot be fully explained by scientific fact. Second, W. D. Rose. W. D. Rose developed the theory of Prima Facie duties. According to Rose, humans intuitively recognize several moral duties such as honesty, gratitude, justice, and non-harm. Something these duties conflict and moral judgment help determine which duty is more important in a particular situation. Features of intuitionism. First, self-evident moral principle. Some ethical truths are immediately known. For example, fairness and honesty appear naturally valuable. Second, moral knowledge is direct. Moral understanding does not always depend on observation or scientific testing. Human possess an inner ethical awareness. Third, emphasis on human conscience. Intuitionism values conscience and moral sensitivity. It highlights the importance of personal moral insight. Advantage of intuitionism. Intuitionism explains why people often make quick moral judgment without detailed reasoning. It also respects human conscience and recognizes the complexity of ethical life. The theory allows flexibility because moral situations are not always governed by one rigid rule. Criticism of intuitionism. Critics argue that intuition differs among individual and culture. If two people have opposite intuition, how can we decide which intuition is correct? Others claim intuition may simply reflect emotion, upbringing, or social condition rather than objective moral truth. Because intuition cannot always be scientifically verified, some philosophers consider the theory of subjective. Ethical realism and intuitionism are important theories in moral philosophy. Ethical realism defends the existence of objective moral truth that remain valid independent of human opinion. Intuitionism emphasizes humanity's direct moral awareness and the role of conscience in recognizing ethical principles. Together, these theories strengthen the belief that morality is not merely personal preference but an essential part of human life and rational understanding. Even today, debate about justice, human rights, equality, and moral responsibility continue to rely on ideas connected to ethical realism and intuitionism. These theories encourage us to think deeply about truth, conscience, and the foundation of ethical living. If you are still watching, I hope you are finding this content useful. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel and share your thought in the comment. Your support motivates me to create even more content like this.